Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. Hope you all are doing so well. I wanted to come on here and share my experience of Vipassana. It was a 10-day silent meditation course that I went from November 6th through November 17th, which was this past Sunday. And yeah, I decided to give it a couple of days to kind of reintegrate myself back into my real world and yeah, just give myself a little time to process everything that I learned and all the insights that I gained and all the realizations and the enlightenments that came through during the process. All in all, it was such a very great enlightening experience for me. That doesn't mean to say that it wasn't challenging, because it really actually was, especially the first couple days. But I wanted to kind of talk about what Vipassana even is. Like, what even is Vipassana? The meaning of Vipassana is accepting the truth as it is, accepting life as it is, not as you would like it to be, just as it is. And we follow Dhamma. And Dhamma is the law of nature. It's a universal truth that we all experience. It's non-sectarian, meaning it is not affiliated or related to any religion or philosophical belief. It doesn't belong to any sect. So everybody, any person can be a part of this experience, because we all experience the law of the universe, the law of nature. Just like the law of gravity, right? We all, if we misalign ourselves and disrespect nature, natural law, then it won't reward us as much as it would if we were to align ourselves with the truth. An example would be if we planted an orange seed. We planted an orange seed and we're hoping, wishing, praying, waiting for a lifetime for an apple or a bitter fruit. We'll be waiting there for eternity. We won't get the results that we want, because that's against the law of nature. We planted seeds of this sweet, juicy orange fruit, and so we'll get that. The law of nature, or Dhamma, only it built us up to the quality that we are. So for us as human beings, for example, if we were to plant seeds of doubt and fear and anger and ill will and animosity and all of these lower vibrational feelings and frequencies, then we'll most likely get the result of that. And similarly, if we go into something with faith and confidence and goodwill and happiness and joy and love and compassion and all the great higher vibrational feelings and emotions, then we'll likely get the same result. Cause and effect, law of correspondence. And yeah, I learned so much. I learned about Vipassana actually through a book a few years ago, and I've wanted to partake in this course ever since, but it didn't align the way that I wanted to back then. But it's all perfectly fine, because you know, everything happens the way that it needs to. The universe aligns things in the way that it needs to. It was divine timing and divine order, because had I gone a couple years, I got cut off, but I was saying that it's all right, because had I gone a few years back, I would not have grasped the message that I did these past 10 days. Again, I truly believe that everything happens the way that it needs to, and so I'm so happy that I went this time around. So a little more about Vipassana. Vipassana, we really dive deep into Sila, Samadhi, and Panya. Sila is the morality of practice. Samadhi is focus on your respiration, the flow of your respiration, and having mastery over your mind. And then Panya is that ultimate wisdom, having the wisdom to, make decisions and become enlightened. And Vipassana, it's ancient to India. It got lost over the years, but it's been in existence for the past 25 centuries. It's a long time. And Gautama the Buddha is who everybody refers to as Buddha, but Buddha is not specific to one person. Before Gautama the Buddha, there have been many Buddhas before and after him, and Buddha basically just means the enlightened one or the awakened one. Vipassana speaks on a lot about aversion, craving, and ignorance, all of which the human mind and the human being, we're all privy to. And having mastery of your mind and following the respiration of your breath and the sensations of your body, and using the framework of our body to heal the deepest levels of our mind, which, so-called unconscious mind. Getting through the depths of our mind is how we're able to have mastery over our mind. You see, a lot of our misery is caused by our cravings and aversions. And craving, for example, if there are things in our lives that we want, we're going to be looking and longing for those things. There's a desire that turns into that craving, and then you start to cling it. And if you don't get it, then you'll just be in this rat race, in this cycle of trying to attain something that perhaps maybe isn't for us. Forcing things, that's craving. Aversion is things that you dislike or things that we hate, right? The things that we have in our lives, we possibly don't want it. And so we're wanting to rid away these things that we have. So we hate it, we want it to go away. And so we create this misery in our lives. And then ignorance, it's like the human mind entertains both pleasant and unpleasant thoughts. It's wild. For me, in my case, when there's a pleasant thought, there's these hypothetical pleasantries that I want to come to fruition. I think about all of these things. And then also, likewise with the unpleasant thoughts, I think and get into this rabbit hole of negative thinking. And then where does that get us? Where does that get me? It's this place of misery. And so Vipassana teaches about awareness and equanimity. So remaining equanimous throughout both the pleasant and the unpleasant thoughts, being mindful and aware of the cravings and the aversions that we go through on a day-to-day, and being equanimous to the things that life throws at us. I think it's such a beautiful thing to keep in mind, because just like you go to the gym to work out, right, our physical body, we need some exercise and some form of mentalism and practice over our mind to keep it strong and healthy. And I'm definitely gonna go. I'm gonna try my best to make it an annual thing. So if there's any of you who want to do this with me or do it for the first time and just to experience it for yourself, I want to make it a point. I want to stress this so badly that don't accept anything I say. Please don't accept anything that anybody says. Accept your truth as you experience it. Go through the motions of your life and experience your truth. Just because I say it, just because the Buddha says it, or just because your religion tells you to do it, don't accept anything as your truth, because not one person's truth is the same as any other being. So I just want to make that clear. I'm not saying that my truth is going to be the same as yours, but what I can say, the law of nature does not discriminate. We're all privy to experiencing everything that is, natural law. That's just how it is. And Vipassana teaches us that. And the first 3 days of Vipassana, it's all about Anapana. And Anapana is focusing on the flow of your respiration. And that's all I will say about that. Okay, I keep getting cut off because my storage has been low, and so I needed to take some time to delete some stuff and then also make some dinner. So now it's nighttime. But as I was saying, yeah, so from day 1 to day 3, it's all about just focusing on the respiration, working on the breath, and maintaining our awareness to the breath, focusing on a really small concentrated area, and that's how to keep the mind more focused. And then from day 4 to day 10, that's when the real work starts, where we tackle Vipassana, and that's where we survey our body from head to toe and to really feel and observe our sensations. And again, through using the framework of our body, we're able to remain equanimous and just observe our sensations, no matter how hard and difficult you feel like it is and you want to react. Changing the habit pattern of our mind is the main thing here. And so usually when something is going wrong, or we're feeling miserable, or we're just in a lot of pain, we want to react. That's our instant reaction as human beings. And so by recognizing that there is pain somewhere, or we're uncomfortable, we're just observing, detaching the I, the me, the mind from it. That's a huge thing that we've learned too. There have been several days where I've just felt so nauseous. I felt like throwing up. It was unbearable. Felt so agitated, really dizzy at one point. I really thought something was going on wrong. But again, that's a part of the whole process, is to observe these sensations that come up, because we're tackling the depth of the mind by using the framework of our body. But yeah, that's a big thing to this that I haven't mentioned, which is weird, is, while we're going through the sensations of craving and aversion and ignorance, remaining equanimous through it all, because everything in life is impermanent. And so anicca, everything is always anicca, 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 and anicca means changing. Everything arises and soon it passes away. And so just remembering that, this is such a huge and a vital piece to Vipassana. But yeah, so that's pretty much about Vipassana. I kind of wanted to talk about like how it went. I think like a culture shock not a culture shock, but just a shock for me immediately after. Like I arrived there at about 4:30 p.m. on Thursday the 6th, or I think it was Wednesday the 6th. And we get to meet and talk to the ladies. It's separated between men and ladies, and we get to meet our roommate. My roommate's really cool. I got to talk to her for like maybe half an hour, and then we all went to orientation at the dining hall, had some dinner, and after about like 2 hours of being there, silence, complete noble silence, which no speaking, no communication, no verbal, no gestures, no eye contact, nothing. It's like, that was a shock. And then to go from speaking to your roommate to not even paying any mind, just acting as if you're there by yourself, that was a huge component to it. And then the next morning at 4:30, we go into the Dhamma hall, the meditation hall, and I thought, I don't know why, I was under the impression that meditation would be, or would have some binaural beats, or like just background music to meditate with, but it was total complete silence. It was so brutal the first 2 days. Like, it's amazing how loud the chatters of our minds can be. The first day I cried just outside of, or at the dining hall, just looking out at this panoramic view of like our space. Like, it was huge, our walking area. It was a few acres, and it was just beautiful to be able to watch the moon. The mountain, St. Helens, was right there, and it was just, it's so beautiful. But seeing the ladies walk out there, and just knowing how there's an intention there to understand more of themselves and understand more of how life is. And yeah, I just felt this spiritual and energetic connection to all of these ladies. So I just like, I was touched by it, and I started tearing up. And then that night, or that day, oh gosh, it was really tough. Just being with my thoughts so loud, not knowing how to navigate it yet because it was just the first few days, right? And so I was missing my family and Bree, and I didn't know how to deal. Couldn't exercise, couldn't talk, couldn't write, couldn't read, couldn't do anything. I literally was living like a nun or a monk for 10 days, and that was really challenging. The second day I had a terrible dream about Bree, and you know, I have such a I don't know, I have a pretty intuitive sense, a good high intuitive sense. There's times where some of the things that I think about or I feel, it happens. And so this dream or this feeling wasn't a very pleasant one, and I could not sleep. I was crying that night, woke up early in the morning at 4, went to see my assistant teacher, ask her how often they check the emergency voicemails to see if any of my family members or Bree has called to, you know, I was just like, everything. I was kind of spiraling, and she's, you know, I was crying to her early in the morning. And she let me know that Belva, the teacher, she is open for, you know, to have conversations if we want to talk about stuff or need clarification over anything. And so I spoke with her over lunch and asked her about some of the thoughts that I was having. And, you know, she because our experiences and our thoughts and the way we navigate these circumstances are so unique to us, she's not going to tell us how to feel or what to do or why certain things are. It's for us to really understand and figure out for ourselves through the process of Vipassana. And throughout the day, I was just kind of battling with my mind, and Belva was so kind to just offer if I wanted them to check on my family. And so they did, and that gave me some peace of mind. Everything was fine. And then, yeah, I just got so, I was just so motivated to figure this thing out and to figure my mind out and my thoughts and to have mastery over it. And yeah, after that, you know, I've had a few more days throughout the 10 days that were challenging, but all in all, this is such a wonderful technique and tool to have. And oh my gosh, we were vegetarian. I was eating vegetarian food the whole 10 days. Who knew vegetarian food combinations could be so delicious? I looked up the recipes, and thankfully they put it on, it's online. But yeah, I'm maintaining that somewhat. I mean, maybe pescatarian, I don't know, but yeah, I've been eating a lot cleaner and doing my hour meditations in the morning and in the evening. I have to do it still today, but yeah, it's just, all in all, it's such a wonderful thing to understand and to have under your belt, and to just remain aware and practice that equanimity throughout life. Yes, life throws us things, and it's gonna be challenging, but we need to combine theory and practice. And like Gwenka says, the continuity of practice is what brings success to Vipassana. And so yeah, I'm just really excited to continue to learn more and to continue to dive deep into my mind and my life, my spirituality. I love that there is now becoming more light with the bridge between science and spirituality, because, you know, we're logical human beings, and Vipassana is a very pragmatic, it's very reasonable, and for people who understand things like the way that I do, I 100% can intellectually and now practically put things into practice. Through my experience and my efforts, I have discovered that this is the truth that aligns with me. I used to be religious, and that's also another thing. This isn't sectarian, like no one's forcing you to get into other things. There's many no shade to any religion or anything like that, but many religious practices kind of push you to conform or to believe or to buy into their faith out of fear. And this isn't anything like that. And yeah, I highly recommend this to anybody who is interested in discovering more of this life. But yeah, I've spoken so much already about it, and my storage might fill up again, so thanks for hearing me. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions or concerns, or if you want to know more. I didn't give too much information, I don't think, but yeah, I'm here if you are interested in doing one. I am so down to do another next year. But yeah, all right, take care.